Story 1. Don't want to reimburse me for the money I sent because you lied? No problem, I'll get it back one way or another. A year and a half ago, I was leaving a very toxic and abusive relationship. I have a job and stable income, but wasn't planning on staying in the state I was staying in. So I didn't want to get a lease and root myself there for a year on the off chance that an opportunity came up. There were several things in the air, so to speak, so I thought it best to rent a room in the meantime with my dog and wait it out. I found a room on CL and went to tour it. It was nice. A little far, but hey, I needed something quick. I paid prorated rent for 1 month and the full rent for the next. A total of 1,400, which was already more than it should have been, but I wasn't in the position to argue that. I also paid a 500 deposit for damages. Then everything started going downhill. I moved in and things were fine for a week. Roommate and I hung out a bit and drank and enjoyed our dogs and each other's company. I would let her try foods I cooked and vice versa. Juices, snacks, dinners, I didn't mind. Until one day, my meal prep bowl went missing. I did give her one as I knew I would be tired of it soon, but I made five. Three were there, two were gone. I asked roommate about it, and she claimed she didn't know. First red flag. Only two people in this home, and the dogs didn't grow arms and touch it. Then, as I'm helping my friend file her taxes for the first time, a man shows up and serves me a summons for court. He thought I was roommate, and it was for back payment of rent. She has been behind and about to get evicted. I mentioned this, and she exclaimed they were supposed to take that back. So she knew. She brought someone into her situation knowing this was going to happen. Then the water went out. She didn't pay the bill. I had to shower at work when I drove an hour to the office. She claimed the city was having issues. They weren't. Her internet was out. She didn't pay that bill either. She said it wasn't her fault. She was trying to get me to offer to pay the bill as I needed it for work. I didn't. I opted to go to the office. She would lock my dog in my room even after she told me it was fine for her to roam, but she didn't really want her to. That's fine, you're home. But she also broke my ceiling fan in the room. My window was broken, so I couldn't open it, and she kept the heat on. My dog was baking in 80 degrees in the house upstairs. Not cool. I told her to stop doing that. Either you lower the AC or give her the freedom to cool off downstairs since heat rises. Then she told me one day that the maintenance people came to check the fan and my window, and my dog scared them. The result? She was fined 300 because she wasn't on the lease. I sent it the money. She already had 3 dogs with one not on the lease. Make it make sense. Then I started to catch on. She was going to keep asking and try to get more money. I asked for an amended lease to prove my dog was on there now. She got defensive and said I accused her of lying. I didn't, but if it's resolved, why not send the lease? She claimed Shed asked for one but couldn't promise anything. Final straw was when she told me not even 20 days into the full month that she couldn't afford to live there anymore and asked if I wanted to get a place together. I said no, I'm not putting my social on a lease with yours. So she said she had to move. She wasn't going to reimburse me my deposit or my 300 for my dog. Solution? I came downstairs to moving boxes. She was going to jump ship without so much as an apology. I took a day off sick from work while she went to her jobbing up and moved all of my stuff and some of hers to a storage unit and got an Airbnb for a few days. I texted her I moved out and she had 7 days to send my money or else. She laughed it off not knowing. She said she had to evaluate my room for damages knowing there weren't any. But I figured I'd give it some time so she knew how serious I was. She got home from work and my phone started blowing up. I reiterated, 7 days and you'll have your stuff. Otherwise, I'm selling it. She didn't pay, so I got my money back in other means. All but 22, which I was okay with. I sold it all. I wasted my entire tax refund and then some to move. She knew she wasn't right and I was pinching pennies at this point. She threatened me with cops, but we both knew that was an empty threat. I spent 20 days in a home I paid a full month's rent for. Never again. Been on my own ever since. Gobsmack 247 says, wow, it's really hard sometimes to comprehend how shitty people can be. I mean, who thinks to do something like this? You can't even protect yourself from this kind of outrageous behavior because it would never occur to you. Maroongrad says, oh wow, yeah, had a similar roommate situation. I stayed the entire summer. He never repaid me the utilities and rent I'd pay that he forgot before he left on a couple-week summer vacation. Joke's on him. He was on the lease. He was on the... Utilities, I was not. His previous roommate moved out, and another friend moved in for the summer. She was suckered in by his personality and remained suckered in, thinking he would never cheat her hundreds of dollars later. Oops. I realized he wasn't going to pay a damn thing, and on the last day I was there, I had a revelation. He didn't know I was leaving. It took half an hour to pack up my car, and I'd given all the stuff I'd bought from the thrift store to a coworker, cheap rattan lamp, air mattress, that sort of stuff that morning. I left him less than five rather than the 400 for rent and utilities for the month, and told him he now owed people who could collect. Stuff was due the start of the month, the next day. Selling his stuff I'd never considered, but it would have really helped those last couple of weeks. Limelight underscore 602 says, it seems like you dodged what was a potentially much larger bullet. It sucks you had to deal with that, and you're fortunate to have gotten almost all the money back and not had any more serious shit go down. Also, bravo for having the presence of mind to take some insurance when you left. Not at all surprising you needed to cash it in. Story 2. Remember to be nice to people, so last year I was catching a flight from Berlin to Dublin. Anyway, for some reason the airport was at a standstill. It was taking 3-4 hours just to get through security. Every flight was delayed. In the ensuing confusion, people were letting others forward who had a flight that was about to leave. I will mention that people were really, really kind. So anyway, they let me through so I could get to security earlier so I could hopefully make my flight. They do this for about 4 of us. So we get to the front. Mind you, the 4 for us are going to the same flight. As I'm taking my laptop out, this lady and her friend come in front of mine, but she makes snide remarks and pushes me out of the way more like a light shove, generally being rude. Now I understand that everyone is stressed with this massive delay, but we're going to the same flight and I'm moving as fast as I can. Anyway, they go through before me, and the rookas they caused, one of them forgot their laptop in the tray. Security asks if I know who it belongs to, and I say no even though I saw them forget it. Now as we are walking to our gate, they realize that they've lost a laptop, and the airport is a mess. I see them start to look everywhere and retracing their steps and asking people around them if they saw the laptop. I just looked at them stress about it and run around like headless chickens. Turns out we were on the same aisle. They were complaining the whole time about how they will have to contact the airport, etc., to locate the laptop. If they had just been a little kinder, I would have let them know they forgot their laptop in the tray. Remember to practice kindness. Tasty Mall 8577 says, oh, I saw a laptop in security, but I assumed you were super efficient as you pushed us out of the way, so it couldn't have been yours. Bakatari says, those ladies need to learn the most basic philosophy in the world, don't be a dick. Easy to live it, easy to implement it for others. Good for you letting them feel the consequences. Big McKeefless says, okay, that was petty. It must have made you feel really good to see them going crazy trying to find it. You could have waited until the last minute, and maybe they would have missed the flight by trying to go back to security to look for it. Thanks for watching. I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.